All right. Well, welcome back.
Welcome
Episode
back.
2 of the podcast.
Yes. Dose.
Episode dose. So I'm talking here podcast. I'm co-host Scott,
Co-host Sonny.
and here we are. Got some interesting topics to cover today. Got some stories. First, we're gonna kick it off with the crazy talk.
Oh, nice.
Crazy talk. So really, with this episode or what this segment entails, we just talk about some crazy things, crazy people, shit that we've seen.
Oh. Some of these are going to be good. As we keep doing these segments. Also, if you guys have anything crazy you've seen or heard or did, definitely drop those. I'll kick this one off
All right.
here. So I used to work with this woman. We're gonna call her Mary. We're gonna go with that to protect her identity. So Crazy Mary was convinced that I don't know if it's true or not, but she was being followed by the government, like trying to be picked up in vans and all kinds of nonsense. Everything's tapped, like that kind of thing that's going on.
She just always stopped.
Yeah. Like she would get out of her car, like very, like always like looking around, like real sketch. When we would go out for any kind of like function for like work, she was like head on a swivel. Like she was ready. Like always watching the door, like checking windows, just on top of it. And it was again, I don't know, maybe she was crazy. Maybe there were choppers after her, when she was grocery shopping.
Yeah, we're not saying that.
We're not saying it didn't happen. Yeah. But who knows? Who knows? But it was like super off. Like she would, if she was on the phone, she would tell someone she knows how long it takes to trace a call, and they're not going to get to finish. And like she would make sure that she would like hang up within a certain amount of time. And if she had to talk to someone, she would hang up and then call them back, and then like hang up and then call them back. It was
Wow.
yeah. It was she was something else. Great lady. She was super cool. She just she did some crazy-ish things.
Yeah.
So
How do you think it's possible she lived a double life, or she was like part of witness protection or something?
I don't know. Who knows? You know what I mean? If she's living a double life, she's a great actress. If she is in witness protection, she's going about it the wrong way. Just like, hey, look at me. That's nuts. You can't do that in that kind of position. I don't know. Nobody knows. Hey, I haven't talked to her in quite a while, but she was something else. Definitely entertaining to work with. Something different every day. There was one time her daughter had gotten arrested or something. She was in jail, and Mary starts freaking out, and she's like, they got her, and I have to go get her. It's a trap, and it was like, there were times where I was like, damn, like I feel bad for you. You know what I mean? Like
damn, how are you? We
like
do
that's
gotta go get her.
that's a lot.
She's
That's
like
a lot.
Convincing you.
Yeah. It's like, no, it was. She really sold it. It was something else. Just odd things that stood out. Like there was I think that was like the kind of thing that caught my attention is the phone thing. Like I heard her like keep calling me. I'm like what? And I believe I asked her that. Like she said it over the phone, but I'm like, why do you keep she's like, because it takes this long for a call to be traced. So
Where do you even get that information from?
she has her sources, I guess.
I guess when you're,
I don't know. She's real cool with her FBI agent that watches her Google search. I don't know.
You guys have tips and tricks on how to evade the police.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
Wow. So, I don't know. I feel like it could be a possibility. Like, why would you live with that much paranoia unless you were just like, I don't know, like schizophrenic or something?
I mean, she always seemed like the same person. They were. I mean, and if she wasn't, they were all a little off. But like, it was real weird because like she is coherent You know, she can form full sentences and was able to debate. And not that, you know, people who think they're being followed can't, but, you know, she seemed pretty well put together except for the fact that they were after her. You know what I mean? She did drink, you know what I mean? But, like,
Oh, she drank.
she drank. But the stress of being followed and tailed all the time, you know? You gotta take the edge off. Somehow.
I think that she was doing more things than just alcohol that led her to believe that people were after her.
All I know is that she can do all that over there. I'm not trying to get too close to something like that, you know? Like, either way, if she wasn't crazy and this is all just a fabrication of her mind, I'm not trying to get too buddy-buddy with that person. And if she is being followed, I'm not trying to stand too close to that person, you know? So,
I mean, definitely is a watch from afar type of thing, but I would say it'd be interesting to just be a fly on the wall
And
like
know what
see like
happened.
what type of life she's actually living outside of work.
she doesn't even speak the way she talks. She has been able to mimic the American accent. She's from another country, hiding out. she knows how to turn air into gasoline or something. So
Soviet spy.
who knows? Who knows?
Wow.
But that would explain a lot.
That would explain a lot.
I would feel better with that actually. than-
Just rather than thinking that she's crazy.
Yeah. Like, I worked in very close proximity with this woman. Like, if she's off her rocker, you know, that's dangerous.
Yeah, she was out committing treason and looking to
All she has to do is think the new guy's a plant, and that's it. Like, I'm done. You know.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's like two things that could have happened. Like she could have really just gone off the deep end. You're like, that would explain it. Or, you know, next thing you know, like her car just spontaneously explodes. You're like, yeah, I think the government was after her.
I mean,
Either way, you know,
yeah,
your mind would have been made at that point.
yeah, but like, how far down the rabbit hole could you go? Like, what if she would have set her car up to explode?
To fake her death.
No, just I mean, if she wanted to do that, or to pull other people into her fantasy world.
Oh, like just actually.
Like, yeah,
Kill
oh
herself.
my god, they're after me. You see that? Did
Oh
you
my
see
God.
that? You know, it's like, oh shit, they blew up her car. Like, yeah, you know.
That's a huge extreme.
You know,
That's really crazy.
yeah, but the thing is, crazy people don't know that they're crazy. It's all normal. It's all normal to them. So it's not an extreme. You know, you're like, blow your own car up. That's wild. Some people are like, that's my fucking Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. That's what we do.
I mean, that is true. That is true.
Mm.
Nobody thinks they're the villain. Everybody thinks they're the hero.
This is it. You get another one. You dropped a gem there. Nice. Nice. Good. Have you ever had any encounters of someone dealing with crazy talk?
Yeah, I mean, just recently there was this guy. I went out for a couple of drinks with my buddies and my fiance, and they brought their girls along. So we were a decent sized group, out just having a couple of drinks, enjoying the night. And we're at the bar, and we're just talking amongst ourselves. And next thing we know, this other guy starts to chime into the talk with
Random dude.
random dude.
Okay.
But you know how it is at the bar.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
feeling a little loose, and they're
Everybody's
talking,
friends.
and everybody's friends.
Yeah.
Right. So you know he's trying to be our friend, and you know I'm a friendly guy, but you know.
Okay.
So I'm like, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta be alert, but you know, not everybody's out to get you.
All right.
Unless you're married.
Yeah, I mean, you know, who knows? Again, who knows?
So, yeah, he's good. He's talking to us. Next thing I know, this guy, his name is Charles, he reaches over and he just runs his hand through my fiance's hair. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Real quick, what would you do? You're out, hanging out with your people, somebody runs their fingers through your girl's hair or down your man's arm, what would you do? Let us know.
Yeah. So he does that. And I'm just like, yo, like, what the fuck?
Like,
And I said out loud, I'm like, yo, what are you doing? You don't need to be doing that. And he's like, oh, like, my bad, this is your girl. I'm like, no, this is my fiance.
No, she's my super girl. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like diligence.
There's a ring on her finger. So, oh, my bad, bro. Like, I'm not the type of guy. I wasn't trying to hit on your girl. I'm like, yeah, but why are you touching her? Like you just, even if she wasn't my girl, like you just do that to other random girls at the bar? And he's like, no, like not like that. He's like, look at me, like look at this. This is my girl. And then he fucking does some outlandish shit. He like grabs his girl's arm and he like licks it, like from like the elbow up to like near your wrist.
I licked it, so it's mine.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? And the girl, like she, that's his girl, but usually you'd be like, oh babe, stop. Like, nah, it was like a normal everyday thing. For her. Like, she didn't even break, contact because she was talking to somebody else.
That's whatever. She's like, yeah, you know, that's what they do. That's what they do.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right. So, anyway, after that, I'm like, what the fuck did I just see? This guy is crazy, clearly, like, So, like, yeah, bro, like, I don't care what you got going on. If that's your girl, I was like, don't be touching mine. So anyway, he starts like going on about this story, how he's a regular at the place. And
they might be here.
Yeah, he's like, if I got into it with the other bouncer, but then, they had my back. I'm like, I don't know, it wasn't making sense. It just kept on on and on and on. Next thing I know, he like picks up a butter knife and he just starts like waving it around and still carrying on with his, I'm like, yo, what is that? Like, he's like, oh, I'm saying, like, if you ever need anything, then like I got your back. I'm just strong you. I'm like, yeah, well, it looks like you're trying to threaten me with your knife. He's like, no,
it's not like that. I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah. So to just keep the peace, like I was like, all right, we gotta get up out of here before I fucking give him the people's elbow.
Have him dealt with.
Yeah.
We'll get your friend the bouncer. We're gonna need him in a minute. Page that guy over real quick. Save him the trip. So, yeah, no, that is outlandish. You know what? First of all, knowing who she was or not, yeah, you're right. You can't just like run up on somebody like, oh, mi amore. Like you're not Gomez Adams. You know what I mean? you can't get away with shit like that. I'll get nuts. That's a good one. That's great. I'm sorry you went through that. Charles, keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
If you're out there, guy, you know who you are.
Watching you, motherfucker.
If that sounds familiar and it's you, stop it. Fucking guy.
Stop it.
Yeah. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, nobody wants your grubby mitts on.
I hate grubby mints. All right. Nice.
Alright, so what we got next?
Next.
Do a trench talk?
We'll do a trench talk. Yeah.
Now, some of you might be asking, what the hell is a trench talk? So, if you ever been in the trenches, you know what it is, you know what this is about. But for all you who don't, the trenches is it's the struggle, it's the grind.
Yeah, what you got to do to see tomorrow.
Right. So in this segment, we're going to be talking about things that we had to do, kind of stay alive, things we're not proud of, but they had to happen this way.
You got to do what you got to do
today on this couch.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say everybody has a story like that. I hope everyone doesn't, you know what I mean? If you do, or you know someone who does, drop that in. We'd like to
love to hear.
See what's going on with you guys. But it's...
I got a story.
You got, yeah? Pop it on.
So, this one, it's not necessarily that it was, we weren't, this didn't need to happen for us to survive, but at least not for me. At least not for me. My friend, he was a dealer, so he was doing that to stay alive. So it was kind of his trench story, but I was
you're
there.
In the trenches with him.
Yeah, right. So what happens is, he had to move some products, get the last little bit of what he had off, and a guy came through. So we're standing in the road. They pulled up in a car, and we did the exchange real quick, and then they like took off, but like not like a normal. Let me not draw attention to myself. We just had a deal go on. No, this man stepped on it, and the tires squealed.
Oh man.
Okay, so he's like making the spot hot, and it just seems suspicious. Like why are you getting out of here in such a hurry?
That's not how you drive away.
Right. So I don't know. That was the first red flag. And then the second red flag was that he paid in just $100 bill. That was it.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, okay, that's something I've never seen before.
That's very odd.
Right? Like, normally you're paying like a 20s, 50s is a maybe.
That's still questionable.
Yeah, that's still questionable, but $100 bill.
Yeah, you don't go to the block with 50s or hundos. Everybody knows that. Like,
So, like, all right. He's like, hey, yo, let me see that $100 bill. So instantly, once it touched my hand, I knew it was a fake because you got that waxy feeling on the fake bills.
yeah.
Yeah. So I touched it. You kind of inspected it in the light. You see the hologram of Benjamin Franklin. You hold it up to the light. There was no hologram. It felt waxy. It was a fake bill for sure. So I'm like, yo, man. I'm sorry to tell you, but you got ripped off.
You got, yeah.
So he's going off. Oh, fuck this. We gotta get him back. We gotta blah, 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 blah. So he starts making some calls. So, he's like, oh, what are we gonna do? I'm like, hey, bro, like, I don't want to be fucking, doing anything too crazy. Like, it's $100. It's fine. You can get it back. He's like, no, we gotta get it back right now. So eventually he gets in touch with one of his other friends, and he rolls up on us and he's like, all right, we're going right now. Sky, are you coming? I'm like, I was persuaded. I was like, I don't know. Like, all right, might make for a good story.
This is gonna get wild. All right.
Yeah. So I hop in the car, and we take off after them. So, good thing we live in the world of technology. So how we found them was he pulled up on Snapchat, and you know how it has the map?
Yeah.
So this idiot had his location on, so we were able to find him on Snapchat. So we drive after them. When we get to where they're at, they're stationary in the driveway, and they were still in the car. The car was still running. So when we pulled up, I was sitting in the back seat. Everybody in the front seats, they hopped out. They just went after them.
Nah, the driver has to stay.
Yeah. They hopped out. So I'm sitting in the back. I'm like, yeah, I'll just keep an eye out. You guys go handle your business. So, they run up on them, start blah, 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 talking, whatever, like, oh, where is it? Like, they didn't, like, pull any guns or anything, like, it didn't get
escalate that far.
That far. Then they take off, like, they were still in the car was still running, they put that shit in reverse, and they got out of the driveway and took off down the road. Then, they run back in the car, like, we gotta get after them. So we're chasing after them now, speeding through the roads, in and out of traffic, in and out of cars.
Nice.
Like some real, like, Fast and the Furious type of shit. And then we pull up on the side of them, and my friend in the passenger up in the front pulls out a baseball bat.
As you do.
Right? And he starts hanging out the window, and he's swinging,
Nice.
trying to hit the car. Keeps on missing. Terrible. And it is hard. We're in a moving vehicle.
Yeah.
We're having to change lanes and all that stuff. So eventually, he goes to hit it, and the bat slips out of his hands, and
Jeez.
so we're like, fuck, we gotta get the bat. And I'm just sitting in the back seat. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening.
This
It's crazy.
is going down.
So, we stop just in the middle of the road. Homie runs out, grabs the bat, and the people we're chasing, they still keep on going. Grabs the bat, gets back in the car. So we had lost them, obviously, because they kept going. They're like, pull Snapchat back up. Pull him up. Sure enough, still has his location.
Wow.
Yeah, so take off after them again. Catch up back to them, and I was able to look into the car, and they're just shocked. They're like, how do they keep on finding us?
It's like a horror movie.
Right, yeah, we just keep on popping up. So, they take off again. We're still chasing them. And finally, we pull up alongside of them. Now we're in, like, the back streets. We're in a residential area. We're not even on the main road anymore. One lane. So, you know, we're like right next to each other. Like anytime a car could come down and just ram us, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
So, reckless driving.
Jeez.
He swings the bat and freaking knocks the rearview mirror off.
Nice.
Finally connects. So we're like, oh shit, you got it. So we're slowed down. They're still, you know, freaking going up.
I mean, yeah.
However fast they're going.
Something just broke. We gotta go get closer.
And that, you know, that was enough for my friend. He was like, all right, that's it. You know, he got his get back. Probably that was probably about $100 worth of damage that he caused to the car. I get, you know, he didn't get back the product, but he.
But the guy didn't come up either.
Yeah,
so
he still had to fix that shit.
Damn.
Yeah, that.
Nice. Well, that must have been horrifying for those guys. Like to think that they keep getting away and then just keep showing up. Like that's insane. That's nuts.
I mean,
at some point, you know.
Eventually, at some point in the whole fiasco, they did turn off their location, but we were
You figured it out.
figuring out what was going on. But we were already on their ass, so
Nice.
They
It's
weren't
not gonna
getting-
help.
they weren't
I see
getting
you at this point. Like,
yeah.
all right.
So,
Damn. Ah, trenches. All right, so there was a portion of time where I was kind of a drifter and, you know, slept on the bridges and very nomadic and lived outside for a while. And people gotta eat. And I like food. So there was a gentleman that I had run into who was looking for some psychedelics, and I'm not proud of what I did, but I go inside and I grab a business card off of the dresser, and I start marking out these squares with a red pen. I cut those out with a razor, and I bring them out to the dude, and he was like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Oh, those are the red edges." You know, like it'll take you right to the edge. You know what I mean?
The red edges.
Those are the red edges.
It's like the blue magic.
Yeah.
From Frank Lucas, American Gangster.
You just gotta say it very matter of fact.
Right.
You know, like you don't know about the edges. I don't know. You know what I mean? So, you know, I give him this thing, and he purchases it. I take the money. I get some food. I was staying with some people. Side note, there was a different way that I would go. Like there'd be a point where I would have the wind at my back and change direction when it did, or I'd follow a certain color, or music, follow the sound of music. And that's how I met this dude. Was I had followed the sound of music to this place. It's back when I smoked, and I'm like, I'm gonna stop here for a second. I'm gonna have a cigarette. I'm just gonna listen to the music for a minute, and then I'm gonna be on my way. And like as I'm smoking, these the people come out who live there. I'm like, oh, you know, sorry, I was just listening to the tunes. You know, I'll get out of here. No, you can hang out. So we kick it. You know, they were cool people. Ryan Beller, if you see this, hit me up. Miss you, nigga. He befriended me, let me in. You know, he kind of telling the story. You know, I'm not really from nowhere. Kind of passing through, blah blah blah. And they offered me a couch, and I was like, "That's cool."
Oh, wow.
Like I haven't slept inside in a while. So you know, we all partied. It was definitely a trap house, and everybody got down. And I'm an early bird. I woke up before anybody else. And I tightened their place up. You know what I mean? Like they were nice enough to have me. So I'm trying to slip out. And Ryan, that's when Fat Boy got up. He was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, no, sorry. You know, thanks for having me. I'm gonna be on my way." And they invited me to stay for I'm not sure how long, if it was like weeks or months. In a situation like that, the days kind of blend together. Like if the party doesn't stop, then it's like it's the same day. You know,
Right.
no matter how many times the sun goes up and down, right? But I meet this kid. I sell him, you know.
So it was here that you met the guy who wanted the psychedelics.
It was at that house, yeah.
Okay.
So you know, boom. I give him to him. He gives me money. I feed the people. You know.
So you fed the whole house.
Yeah.
Off of what you bought.
Yeah. He can attest to this. Money is paper. Like I don't really. If I get it, I like to share it and whatever. So I got the funds, they need to eat too, bam, bam, bam. Everybody grubs. The dude doesn't come back for it's like 2 days, and I see him like swiftly walking up, and I was like, okay, all right, like this is now, here it is.
Yeah.
So he runs up on me, and he's like, dude, do you have any more of those? He was like, that was the best trip that me and my homies had. It's like, the brain is an amazing thing. Like, it'll do what you tell it to do. So I'm like, yeah, no, I totally got some of those. So I go to, we don't get that. So I go inside, I still have that business card. I start, making some more red squares, and the pen starts dying. And I grabbed the green pen and I finished it for,
change
yeah,
colors.
yeah. So for what he had ordered, and then 3 more, right? So we go outside, and I'm like, hey, boom, here are the reds. I forgot that when I read, I got these greens. They got the reds out the box. So I'm gonna finish.
So like these are the heavy hitters.
Yeah. I'm gonna finish your order of reds in the greens, and I'm gonna give you 3 more greens for the trouble. Like, I apologize. You know what I mean? It was that word. So he takes off, and I cut him the price for the reds for the greens. I'm not gonna up on that. And it's like 3-4 days, whatever. And who cares? He comes back. He comes back a 3rd time, and he wants
third.
Yeah, he's like, boom. I get him the greens, and
so this time it's just greens. He just wants all.
yeah.
Reds.
He comes back and he's like, you're right. Like, those green ones, that's where it's at. And I was like, okay, cool.
God.
Yeah. It's what happens. You know what I mean?
But I mean, I think that's, like if he's doing acid that many times, this was over a week period, right?
It was a while. These people partied. I met him in a trap house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's only so much serotonin that you could burn through.
Yeah, no, I
And
mean,
the next thing you know, your brain is a fucking fried egg.
yeah, but some people fall down that hole immediately. Some people don't. It's not, you can get locked into weird places. I don't know how often he did it. I know he came back a couple times pretty quickly for more. You know what I mean?
That's all you can say about that.
Yeah. After that 3rd one, I haven't seen him after that. So, maybe he OD'd on business card. I don't know. Like, I don't know how.
So the 3rd time, you never saw him again.
Yeah. This didn't happen.
Wow.
Yeah. I hope you're doing good.
So I mean, clearly, like you made some decent money off this guy if you're able to feed
The
everybody.
house. Yeah. It was, there were currencies that were exchanged. I think. So I told him that the reds were 20, but I'm gonna do him a favor and I'll give them to him for 15 because I gotta get rid of them. I gotta read. And if someone thinks they're getting a deal, they're like, all right, yeah. So he jumped on it. So when he came back, that 2nd time, the reds were 20. The reds were 20 as they were, and then the 3rd time the greens were 40. So
Wow.
yeah, there was a bit of money that came into the household, and
You were a big earner that week.
it was good.
So did everybody at the house have their own little hustle going to kind of pull the money in?
Everybody had a thing. It was crazy. There was this was when I smoked. I had my hustle, so I would buy my pack of smokes. But there was one guy who was there that would like grab all the more fuller cigarettes out of ashtrays around the city, and then like he would get back to the house at night and just roll them all into cigarettes for everybody. Like
No way.
yeah, like everybody did something.
I think he would sell them. He'd sell them.
No, he would just give them to them.
just give them.
Yeah, he smokes here. It was like a house thing. Like he got some of the food, he handed out the cigarettes that he made. It was like a little community
I don't
fucking.
want that though. Like somebody else half smoked cigarette they threw on the ground.
Yeah, he takes all the tobacco out. He like takes all the burnt tobacco out, just gets the tobacco and re-rolls the cigarettes. He gets like rolling papers, and he has filters, and he just rolls the cigarettes.
I thought that would be like a hustle for him to.
I mean, I don't know what he did
sell
outside
the Lucy's,
of there, but everybody pitched. It was a weird community thing. Everybody pitched. There was a cow pasture across the street, so there was always gallons of shroom juice, and everybody was always partying and fucked up. And it wasn't a conglomerate thing.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a business thing. It was just people wilding out.
So, with the trenches, there's still spoils to be had.
Yeah, it's not all terrible. It's
Yeah,
not all horrible, I hope you guys are okay. I hope you guys are okay.
You've never been in contact with any of those people?
No, which sucks because like they were super cool.
Yeah.
I had a very wild ride during the time, in question. So I didn't really stick around for too long. I didn't have like a phone. I didn't have a phone number. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
you're just out in the streets, doing what you gotta do.
Just running the streets.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do. I don't mind the streets. I don't mind the streets.
Wow. That's interesting.
Well, if you guys, again, have any kind of trench talk moments or heard a story or, nothing to be ashamed of, I do feel bad about what I did.
Yeah.
You don't have to, judge-free zone, but share. We'd like to hear, your side.
What would you do if you were in Sonny's position too? Would you have sold to him the 3 times, or would the voice in the back of your head tell you, you're gonna go to hell if you do this?
You're gonna go to hell for selling business cards?
Right. Yeah. That's what was legal. So.
Yeah. What would you do in that situation? Yeah. Nice. We got a third one.
Yeah.
This one really doesn't have a name. It's kind of it's just a story. It's a pretty good story though. Yeah.
This one couldn't even fit into a segment.
No, yeah.
It is.
It's off the wall. If you guys have an idea of what the kind of segment this could fill, let us know.
Yeah, please.
So it's actually involving the place where Crazy Mary worked.
Nice.
Yeah, she was there. So it's legitimately an odd tale.
So you're setting this up next. If Mary's a part of it.
She was there. This is where a lot of the crazy took place. This is where I had noticed all that. But
maybe she was just a product of her environment.
Possibly. So I had worked at this place, and I've done call center work. I've done like collections. I've done just customer service, blah. And I get this gig, and it's over the phone, and it's sales. And if anyone's ever sold over the phone, there's leads, there's cold leads, there's hot leads, right? So I'm the new guy, so I get the cold leads. So I gotta call these cold leads and try to find deals in that may have fallen through the cracks, blah, whatever. So it's pain-based sales, and this is the first time that I had heard of a tactic like this. And it's essentially, you make somebody feel bad until they give you their money, right? So like, and that's out of context. You would point out like, are you prepared for Christmas? Do your kids have a college fund already? Are you making payments on your house? Do you rent? Like, do you even have a house? You know what I mean? Like, do you have a yard? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, your kid's not having a yard. Like, you dig in.
Do you even have a house?
Yeah, like you dig in. They're just like, oh no, I don't have any of these things. Or those things that you want. Yeah, okay, we'll give you the money. We'll give you the service. It was internet sales, and you would get a coach. You would get the product. You would get all the stuff, and it did work if you followed whatever regimen it was. But a lot of people fell off because like they would want to have their own private stores. Like if I had a store, it would be like a comic shop, figures, cards, whatever. So somebody else would have like sports memorabilia, like whatever their niche is. But you don't get to sell that. You would just get to sell what's selling on the market right then. So in 1 week you may have an inventory of tube socks. Another week there may be like toilet seat covers. You didn't have to have anything in your house. It was drop shipping, so you didn't have to carry. You didn't have to fill your house with porcelain cats or like whatever it was. From here to there, people made money if they stuck with it. Blah blah. It was legitimate.
Wow.
It was
legitimate.
legitimate.
Yeah, that was legitimate. Is that if they followed through on all the training and
yep, took the advice.
Right, they were willing to give up what they wanted to do.
Yeah, for what needed to be done.
For what needed to be done.
They were willing to crawl into the trenches.
Right. Yeah.
So I couldn't keep with it because I felt bad like as a person. Like it got to me after a while. The money was nice. I was making like a couple grand a week and just like pissing it away on everything. It was fantastic. I had a lot of fun, but I felt bad. I just like I couldn't keep doing it. And it took a while to get to that point. It had gone pretty deep, and I was like, oh no, I can't do this. But it was rough like in the beginning. So like I would have a headset on, and I'd be talking to somebody, and my closer's in the other room on a headset, and I can hear him, but the person I'm talking to can't hear him. And they would like say things in your ear, and you're supposed to reiterate, help guide the conversation because they've been doing it for a while. So I had a guy that was like kind of giving me a hard time, and I have a customer service background, so like when he's done, I'm like, all right, sorry for the, blah blah whatever. And he was like, no, you don't say sorry. He's like, say this, and I'm like, I'm like he's getting off the phone, like, dude, why would he like say it?
Right, yeah.
And he was like, I want you to tell that guy, fuck you, you can't have it anyway. Like I don't think you got what it takes. And I'm like I don't, I pause for a moment, and then I hear in my ear, say it or you're fired. And
Wow.
yeah, and I'm like, oh, well, I like to pay rent, that's nice. So I'm on the phone and I'm like, you know what, Frank? I don't think you got what it takes to do this anyway. Fuck you. And he's like, now hang up. And I hung up on the guy. And I'm like I've had like years of customer service experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at one point I trained people to be on the phone. This is like,
Went against everything.
yeah, dude, it was rough. It was rough.
Went against everything. Yeah.
So I hang up on this guy, and the closer comes out, and he's like, yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Everybody else is like, what's going on? He said, fuck you to some guy. And they're like, oh, yeah.
Just the whole
Yeah.
community comes together to celebrate.
It was a normal thing.
Douche.
Yeah. You moved into your douche with it. You know what I mean? Like, you need to celebrate that, I guess. So I'm like, oh, this is like, I'm fucking mortified. This is horrible. He's like, don't worry, he's gonna call back. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, if somebody, what would you do, right? Like, if somebody talked to me like that, I think I would have fun with that person and keep, like, I would talk back. I don't think I would
Right.
pop off, but I like to do dumb stuff like that. So, he comes out, and I'm like, oh man, he's like, you need to stop worrying. The guy's gonna call back. I'm like, I don't know what's that. He's like, nah, he's going to. Let me ask you this. Have you had lunch? And I'm like, no. He's like, come on, we're gonna go eat. Let's go.
Wow. So he knew already that you had him on the hook.
Yeah. He's been doing this forever. He's like, every time when he's like, no, you cut it loose. He's not gonna. They just, I don't know. I was like, all right, cool. On to the next one. We go out to lunch, like an hour and a half, like we're hanging out. We come back, and the dude had called like 2 or 3 times. He called back, yeah. And then I got the messages from. There were some ladies in the back office. They did they took messages and relayed phones. That's not all they did. They did all the paperwork. They handled a lot of business. We literally couldn't do it without them. So thank you for that. One of them, side note, one of them actually ended up being my pastela lady, which worked out real nice.
Nice.
So I get back. I'm like, when's the last time you called? Like half an hour ago. I'm like, it's done. Whatever. So I guess he had left a message, and he was like, have him give me a call when he gets back in, yada yada yada. So he calls back. She gets the call, and my closer comes out. And he runs out the room, and he's like, that's the guy? And I'm like, yeah, that's the guy. And he's like, you tell him that he's on the call with somebody else, and he'll call him back. And I'm like I can talk to this guy now. He's like, no, you're on the call. Like, I'm not on the call at all. And I'm like, all right. So, boom. He's like, all right, get in my office. Pep talk. Bam, bam, bam. This is how it's gonna go. These are the things you want to say. Like, you want to poke here, here, and here. Fuck this guy. He already set the course of this. And I was like, damn. I have to unlearn everything. And go back in. So I call this guy again. He's in my ear in case I deter. So I call this guy, and I'm like, what's up, Frank? Like, you called me? Like, you said no, and you're calling me. You're wasting my time. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, no, it doesn't sound too bad. Like, I'd like to talk some more about it. I'm like, I don't have the time to talk to you about it.
Right.
Like, it's the takeaway is what it's called. Like, if somebody wants something, and then you put it in front of them, you're like, nah, I don't want. Well, you can't have it anyway. They're like, oh, wait a minute. Let me hold on. Yeah, let me take a look at the thing I can't have. So we hit him with the takeaway. And I'm like, I don't think you got the chops for it, like I can't help you. He said, well, you said that I can't do it. Like, what would it take? Like, what would I need to do to be able to do it? And I'm like, you don't need to do it. And this one came from the closer. He was in my ear, and he's like, you tell this guy he's gonna have to go find his wife. And I'm like, you gotta go to your wife. And he's like, yeah, she could talk to you. And no, not to talk to me. You have to go find your wife and then get in her purse. And while you're in her purse, find your balls. And then once you find your balls, you give me a call back. He's like, no, hang up. And I'm like, wow, click, okay. Dude,
dang.
I don't even know. I don't even know how these people make money, but they did. They know the game. It's all psychological.
Yeah.
So the guy calls back. His wife's on the phone. yada yada yada. He answers the questions. We close the deal. It was.
He knew from the start.
Yeah,
He was gonna close.
they've been doing it for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. That place, I refer to that place as the Boiler Room. It's an older flick.
Yeah.
Scott hadn't seen it. He checked it out.
Awesome movie.
If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Yeah. It's like the Wolf of Wall Street, but before the Wolf
Yeah.
of Wall Street.
It's like the prequel. Yeah, but kind of it just felt really grimy. Like I didn't enjoy treating people like that.
Yeah, I mean, you had to like degrade them
Yeah.
and psychologically fuck them, and then
take their money.
and then they wanted to buy something.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like a weird kink.
It was rough. I mean, hey,
It's like a degradation kink.
we don't kink shame. Some people pay to be degraded. You might be onto something there. That might have been. Who knows?
Right. Yeah. Business idea. It's like a hotline. They just call in, degrade them, and get your credit card information.
We're doing it. Don't take that. You heard it here first. That's ours. That's ours. Man, yeah, it's nuts. The human brain's a crazy thing. Like at one point, it makes your own psychedelics. At another point, it lets you think that doing this thing that's against your financial code is what makes you a man. It's nuts. It's nuts. Like you did have to emasculate people, and it was crazy. It was crazy. I couldn't do it for too long. The money was cool for a while, but not cool enough. I can't. I didn't feel good about it. So.
But you got good at it. You started closing calls.
Yeah, I mean, I like words. It's
words.
Yeah, I like words, and I also, there's a part of me that is an aspiring thespian. So like, I could be whatever I was. I could be like whoever I wanted to be on the other end of this call.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something else. It was
You
great.
just had to step into
That role,
different role.
that thing, yeah.
a different person.
Mm-hmm. Nuts. different kind of job. It was crazy. Tell them, fuck you, you're fired. I was like, fuck you. I need to eat. Well, yeah, that's the wild story of the Boiler Room. There's a couple other ones, but I'm gonna leave you there at this point. Well, that's where we'll set the bar.
Yeah, this is a good introduction.
It's Boiler Room stories. It's the Boiler Room Files.
Well, I can't wait to hear about this.
That place was nuts. All cool people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're still in contact with them?
Two of them. Two of that closer and the other closer who is a Yeti. He's a shaved. Yeah, I'm sure they found him in the wild
Wow.
somewhere. He's something else. Like that's who you are.
And they're still there?
No, the one dude who was my closer is a lawyer in New York, and the other guy is still there. He's
still in the boiler room.
Yeah, he's still working the leads. That's what you got to do. The place was wild. It took a couple days to get to that point, but they were that kind of people. Like they told me before I got there that people were just like cutting up lines, so like coke on their desk, so they could stay up and just keep making sales, like always be closing, And I'm like, damn, like that's nuts.
Always be closing.
Yeah, dude, always, right? Like my first day, it was my favorite drug test I've ever taken for a job. I go back, and the dude's like, do you do any drugs? And I'm like, yeah. Like I don't like to lie. It's not so like I'm doing drugs. And he's like, what do you do? I'm like, I smoke weed. And he's like, that's not a drug. He starts laughing. He's like, it's not what I'm talking about. And I was like, oh, nah, man, I'm good. Like I just smoke weed. He was like, oh, dude, you're fine. I was like, all right, cool, man. Like, sure thing. But it's that caliber of individual.
Yeah.
It was something else.
So right from the start, the drug test, you knew what you were getting into.
I knew not what I was getting into, but I did know that it was
You
something
were
I'd
excited.
never been in before. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to tell like this is a job. And like so they obviously know I smoked because I told them. There were a couple days where and it was cool because like you'd have a rough day at work, and my clothes would come out and be like, did you bring with you? I'm like, yeah, I got some in my bag. He's like, go outside, smoke. Take 50. And I'm like, all right, cool. Go out and rip a little bit, come back in. I'm like, all right, that's where the lead's at. I'm loose. I'm ready. It was crazy. It was entertaining to say the least. Something else.
Wow.
You next time you get more. That's all for
Yeah.
That's all for now.
So I think that kind of concludes our talk for today.
Yeah, that was a good talk.
That was a good
talk. Thanks for sitting in on episode 2 of I'm Talking Here.
Yeah.
You know, again, leave any of the answers or comments or whatever down below for us. We'd love to hear from you and any of your anecdotes that fit those segments or not.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's been a pleasure bringing you guys some laughs and sitting here with you guys. Tune in again soon. Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Episode
We're 3 in. That's crazy.
We're 3 in.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Later. Nice. That's what's